Hello everyone, this is Paris. Welcome to BudgetHolics. In today's video, we're going to go over some key important takeaways from the Bitcoin conference in Miami. This was a 2-day event which was live streamed by the Bitcoin Magazine YouTube channel, for which I leave a link down in the description and up here. As you understand, it's probably impossible to summarize perfectly 17 hours worth of talks in just a small single video. If you think there is something I missed that's pretty important, let me know down in the comments. This video took around 20 hours to produce, including the conference, shooting and editing, so hitting the like and subscribe button will greatly help me keep bringing this content to you. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. Before we start, just a small disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is simply what speakers in the conference said. When it comes to investing, always do your own research and never rely on the advice of some random guy on the internet. The conference started with an address of Francis Suarez, the mayor of Miami. In his address, he stated that he aims to make Miami the blockchain and mining capital of the world. Earlier in the year, it was announced that Miami would be accepting Bitcoin for taxes and fees, and that city employees could also opt to be paid in Bitcoin. Moreover, Mayor Suarez said that Miami is the first US city to have Bitcoin in its balance sheet. Another important remark by Mayor Suarez is that the days of currency being tethered to a central bank are over. The second speaker we're going to look at is Jack Dorsey, the chairman and co-founder of Twitter and CEO and co-founder of Square. The key theme in Jack Dorsey's speech is that Bitcoin is all about banking the unbanked. Similarly to Andreas Antonopoulos and other original Bitcoin supporters, Dorsey argues that the people who need Bitcoin most are not the ones found in Europe or the United States and other developed countries, but residents of other states such as Nigeria, Ghana, and India. In these places, people not only don't have access to banking services, but they're experiencing their currency devalue day by day, and their very access to the local banking system depends on whether or not the local dictator will allow it. Another important takeaway from Jack Dorsey's speech is about the Bitcoin energy problem. He argues that since renewable energy is the most cost-efficient form of energy production, mining facilities of Bitcoin will seek to consume energy produced from those sources. This is simply a profit maximizing incentive for any business. Moreover, he said that his work is focused on increasing the speed of the Bitcoin protocol and that Square is working on producing a new hardware wallet. The next speaker is Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor referred to Bitcoin as the apex property of the human race. He argues that Bitcoin is the first time in history where we figured out how to create a true property that you can take possession of with full custodial rights that can't be impaired. And again, building on the theme of unbanking the unbanked, he said that this is the first time we can give property rights to 8 billion people. He built on the ESG argument and said that Bitcoin offers the most efficient use of energy. If you want to check out my video on Bitcoin and energy consumption, you can find it using this link, which I leave it also down in the description. Regarding buying Bitcoin for MicroStrategy, as MicroStrategy, the company he's CEO of, has 100% of its balance sheet in Bitcoin, he said that he found a way to convert a liability, i.e. the US dollar, which is constantly losing value due to inflation, to an asset that's growing in value year over year. He says that Bitcoin is hope. In terms of his company's stock price, it certainly helped. The next speakers are Pomp and the Winklevoss twins. The Winklevoss twins are the founders of Gemini. They made a significant distinction between gold and Bitcoin. What gives gold value is the fact that it's scarce. In other words, we could mine more gold, but we're not doing it. In the case of Bitcoin, the supply is not just scarce, but fixed. If we were to migrate to another planet, we could find more gold that's more easily accessible, and this would dilute the price of gold today. However, we couldn't have this with Bitcoin. Moreover, they underlined that just 32 public companies in the United States have Bitcoin in their balance sheets. So there's room for growth. In terms of price prediction, they said that Bitcoin could reach $1 million, and they also announced a new credit card that they're offering through Gemini with a 3% cashback in Bitcoin on any dollar purchases. They described it as getting Bitcoin to spend a Bitcoin. The next speaker on the list is President of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele. I may have slaughtered his last name. He announced that he plans to introduce a bill that will make the world's first sovereign nation to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. Legal tender is a form of money that courts of law are required to recognize as satisfactory payment for any monetary debt. This means that within El Salvador, if this bill passes, Bitcoin will be accepted as a true currency, in contrast to legislation in the US and Europe, where Bitcoin is viewed as an asset. This is important for El Salvador, according to a Morning Brew article, because 70% of the population does not have a bank account, and 20% of the country's GDP comes from remittances, which are payments sent from Salvadorians living abroad back to the country. And people working abroad and sending money back to their country have had to pay huge fees when sending their money through companies like Western Union. El Salvador's president said that Bitcoin could help streamline those cumbersome cross-border payments while promoting financial inclusion for those left out of the system. He also noted that this move would create more quality jobs for residents. The next speaker on the list is Mike Novogratz, the CEO of Galaxy Investment Partners, which is a company that focuses on investments in cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. He said that all big banks, including Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley, are investing into Bitcoin. Maybe this is the reason, and this is just my comment, for why we saw the recent decrease in the price of Bitcoin. If you want to learn more about how financial institutions can manipulate the price of Bitcoin, check out my previous video, for which I'll leave a link here and down in the description. He said that institutions are starting with a 2 or 3% allocation in their portfolio, and this is a strategy that retail investors could follow as well. The devaluation in all currencies, including the dollar, the pound sterling, and the euro, according to Novogratz, will lead Bitcoin to become the world's global reserve asset within 24 months. That's 2 years from now. These are the most important takeaways from the Miami Bitcoin conference. There was a number of speakers, and you can watch the whole conference for yourselves. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the conference, whether you attended, and any thoughts you have on Bitcoin's future in general. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell, to get notified whenever I post a new video. Until we meet again, don't stop investing. Cheers.